The legal world has a language all its own. It is important to understand basic legal terms, especially if you are involved in legal action. First, it is helpful to know the difference between the plaintiff and defendant in a personal injury case. Who is the plaintiff? The plaintiff is an individual or an entity who brings a civil legal action. The plaintiff files a personal injury lawsuit in a court of law. An attorney representing the plaintiff files the plaintiff's complaint in the appropriate court, suing one or more defendants for the harm they allegedly caused. The burden of proof in civil litigation, such as a personal injury legal matter, rests with the plaintiff who filed the civil complaint. The plaintiff must show that they suffered some type of injury due to the defendant's negligence, recklessness, or criminal act, and that the plaintiff's injury can be improved with compensation from the defendant. Who is the defendant? In civil cases, the defendant is the person or entity being sued by the plaintiff. The plaintiff in a lawsuit asserts that the defendant has failed to meet a legal responsibility owed to the plaintiff. The plaintiff asks the court to compel the defendant to compensate them for their injury due to the defendant's failure to fulfill their legal duty. Similarly, property owners have a duty of care to ensure their buildings and grounds are free of hazards that could foreseeably harm visitors. A property owner might become a defendant in a lawsuit if a visitor were to assert that they slipped and fell and were injured on the defendant's property because of a hazard the defendant should have known about but failed to fix on time. Why the plaintiff and defendant distinction matters? For a plaintiff to win a civil lawsuit, their attorneys must persuade a jury that it is more likely than not that the defendant caused the person's injuries. This is known as a proving liability by a preponderance of the evidence. This is a lower standard of proof than beyond a reasonable doubt, the level of proof required in criminal cases. The plaintiff has the burden of proof in their personal injury case. The plaintiff asserts that the defendant injured them, so the plaintiff's personal injury lawyer must gather and present convincing evidence to support the civil case. A defendant is not required to prove their lack of liability. However, Kentucky's rules for the allocation of compensation in a personal injury lawsuit provide a defendant incentive to present evidence of the plaintiff's negligence. If you want to learn more, feel free to contact us or visit our website.